So here's the situation. The car has sprung a leak. I am leaking some major coolant. So this has become a DIY, another do-it-yourself. I'm gonna see if I can get this fixed, but in the meantime, I'm gonna have to find another way to get to the office, which means it'll either be the iron horse or the pedal horse. If I take the mountain bike, it'll kind of be like a 2 exercise, you know? Get a little cardio in with the bike, plus I'm heading to the office anyway. I don't know exactly if this is what it is, but I believe the leak is right here between these two, somewhere around here. I think I saw a lot of antifreeze coming out of there. Hopefully it's just a gasket or something like that. I'm not exactly sure, but I'm gonna take this apart, pull all this, the airflow and everything, pull all this out of the way, get that out of the way, move that so that I can easily get down in there. So let's see if we can get this done so we can get the car back on the road, because I think it's a lot more comfortable going to the office in the car, vice going to the office on the bicycle in the cold. Okay, so what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna start the car up, see if we can identify where the leak is. One of these two, I believe. Right now underneath the car, there's no leaks. So once we turn it on, we'll see if it starts leaking again, and we'll try and pinpoint it. And from there, we'll start taking everything apart, and then we'll repair the leak. So here we go. All right, so as you can see, it's leaking. Since I don't know exactly where the leak's coming from, we're about to do a process of elimination. We're gonna start right here, take this out, start moving stuff out of the way, see if we can get to the leak. So the status is I pulled some things apart, and now we're getting closer to where I wanna check to see if that's where the leak is. So I just took off the covers and pulled the cover off here and the heat screens and filter air. Now I can access this a little better. So I'm gonna pull these two here out. I'm not sure, but hopefully it's an O-ring replacement. I have a couple O-rings and we'll replace them. Safety first, so even when you're doing minor repairs on the car, I think it's best that you unplug the battery. We always just take off the negative side, and you should be okay. Okay, so I think I found it after hours. I think it took me at least a couple hours to find this out. I'm gonna show you what I think it is, and then we're gonna turn the car on, see if the antifreeze comes out of it. But if you look here, this was actually, it was hidden behind this heat shield. This line that runs here comes off here. And if you look here, there's a crack right there. Not sure if the GoPro can show you the crack. I couldn't find where it was coming from, but I removed the heat shield and I noticed that the heat shield was soaking wet. I'm gonna turn the car on for a quick second. If you look now, I just wiped up any leaks that were there. Okay, so keep your eye right here. That should do it. I'm gonna see if I can order this hose and check and see if one of the auto parts stores have it. I doubt it, so it may take a couple days to get it. Now that I decided that it is this hose right here, I'm gonna use a 3/4 inch wrench to take it off. This screw right here. Okay, I'm gonna remove the hose, and then we're gonna see if we can go to an auto store and replace it. Beware of the remaining antifreeze that will leak out of there once you take this off. There it is. It's gonna run out, folks. Now, of course, it would have been nice if I could have drained all this out before, but I didn't drain the antifreeze out, so we're just gonna have to clean up the mess. I'm just gonna keep it real with you. I have no idea what the name of this particular hose is. However, we do know that it runs right up front here. Replace this hose with the proper hose, with either an Audi hose or at least an aftermarket exact match. So let's go get a new one. Well, it looks like we're gonna have to take the bike to the office. Now, to be honest with you, I prefer taking the car to the office over the bike. Sometimes you gotta do what you gotta do. And it's not because of these hills right here. So I have the new hose. What we're gonna do now is swap out this here, and I am gonna keep the clamps. Probably should have got new clamps, but I'm gonna keep them anyway. As you can see, this is where the old hose, where the rupture is here. And one thing I will say, if you were to replace a hose or something like that, definitely check online a few spots, because you could get the same OEM model for half the price at some places. So check around for that. And another thing, as much as I enjoy riding the bike to the office, I definitely prefer the car. So let's get out here, let's replace this hose, and then let's run some checks on the car, make sure there are no leaks. And then, all right, let's put this thing back on. Now the moment of truth. I'm gonna start the car up, let it run for a while and get hot. And we're gonna check for leaks, make sure there are no leaks. And if there are no leaks, we're going to put it back together, put it out on the road. More than likely, I'm gonna have to add some coolant, because if you remember before, a lot of it leaked out. So once I start it up, we'll add some more coolant to it, let it get hot, check it out, and then we'll put it back together. So far, no leaks, but we're gonna give it a few minutes, let it run for a while. Okay, after letting it run for a few minutes and get hot, we have discovered no leaks, still none there. So we're gonna put this stuff back together, and then I'm gonna take it out on the road and give it some juice. Okay, so first thing we did was put the filter back on. Now we're gonna connect the tube here. Plug everything back up. Breather lines there, plug them back up. Then we'll throw the air line back on here, put the cover back on, and that's it. Okay, so I just put everything back together. Now before I put the undercarriage covers back on, I'm gonna turn the car back on again, let it run for a few more minutes, get it hot again, check for leaks. And if I don't see any leaks this second time, I'll put the covers on, then we're done. Okay, so everything is good to go. Got the car back on the road and it feels good. That's how I replaced the upper coolant hose. And it was hard to detect because it was behind that heat shield. So just in case if you were to have a coolant leak, check the upper hose as well. And it may or may not be behind that heat shield if you have one, if it's hard to detect. Until next time, it's ReekG. I'm out of here. Peace.